Hey folks, welcome back. You're probably thinking, what am I doing with this adjustable wrench? Good Lord. Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to change the oil in my forks. I'll be using this adjustable wrench to take off the top bolts on the forks themselves. All right, took off the console here, the ignition switch cover and the console and all that. So basically what you're gonna do to do the oil change on your forks, without removing your forks that is, these are the filler caps. We're gonna go ahead and loosen these up and take them right out. I've already loosened the left side. I'm gonna go ahead and do the right side. I gotta be careful when it's adjustable in here. Yeah, it can be real tight and there really isn't much room to play with. You don't wanna ruin the nuts. Alright, once it's loose, you just unscrew it. Alright, I want to show you inside here. Chances are the O-ring's not going to come out with the bolt or the screw or cover, filler plug, whatever you want to call it. Now I changed these last season when I did the fork oil. Just check them, make sure they're okay. If they don't look good, just go ahead and replace them. Don't mess around with the seals. This is the drain screw right here. It's on the bottom of the fork. Both sides is like that. It's a Phillips head screw. All right, what I like to do is I take my screwdriver, Phillips head. This is a number 3. This one just happens to have a nut on the end of it. So I put a wrench on it to give me leverage. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna push this on and turn it with the wrench so I don't strip the screw out. And they are pretty snug, so you're just gonna go ahead and just take it right out. Of course, have a drain pan underneath so you catch the fork fluid. All right, just check your screw, check your washer, make sure everything's okay. Make sure everything looks good, you know. Set it aside for now. I'm gonna let that drain. This is actually the fork that you can't fill from the top. So you're gonna have to fill it, what I like to call backfill it through this hole. I bought a new tube to try to do that with, so we'll see how that works. To fill my fork, I'm using PJI Fork Tuner Fork Oil, 10 weight. I'm just gonna put it in a container, clean container. It's actually got a light green color to it. I've come up with this tool right here. This is what I made. It's a syringe, piece of vinyl hose, and a little adapter on the end. I'm gonna fill the syringe up, hook this up to the fork, and I'll be able to stick it in here and fill the fork up that way. And then I'll use vice grips to hold it as I change the syringe out. So this is gonna kind of like go in there, then I'm gonna screw it in. Now this is a 2-ounce syringe. This fork here, the reason you can't fill in it from the top, this is a cartridge fork. All right, I don't know if you guys know anything about a cartridge, but you can't fill it from the top. We'll just leave it at that. So I'm gonna backfill it. The book calls for 10 ounces in this fork, which is pretty much what I've taken out of it. This syringe is 2 ounces, so I'm gonna do 5 of these back into the fork. Now the first one, I'm just gonna throw enough fluid in here to fill this hose up. All right. Take my vice grips, and I'm going to close that off. Fill the syringe up to the 2-ounce mark, and then we're going to put 2 ounces in there. When I take this out, I know something's going to leak. So I'm going to just throw a 1/2 ounce in there extra. All right, this is the tricky part. Getting this out and not losing any fluid, or losing the minimum amount of fluid. would say that's about half an ounce that I lost. Take some practice doing it. So that's in. Now I'm just gonna snug this up. Don't go crazy with it. Carefully don't strip this. It can't be a pain in the butt to get started. Now on this bolt here, the manual calls for 22 to 58 foot-pounds. I don't know why it's such a difference, but I'm just gonna go ahead and snug this down because you can't get a torque wrench or a socket in here. 22 foot-pounds is really not a lot of torque. Pretty much it's just snug. There you go. An adjustable wrench is not the ideal way to go. If you have a wrench you can get in there, that would be best. You wouldn't, there's less chance of stripping the nut out and stuff, so. But it does work. And I wanted to show you folks that if you have an adjustable, it'll work on that. All right, let's go do the other side. All right, this side is a conventional fork, and this side takes 11.1 ounces. I'm using the same setup. I'm using a syringe because I don't have a measurement cup, so I'm using a syringe to measure. All right, we're done. That's all there is to changing the oil without having to remove your forks and taking them apart. Like I said, that's not an exact science as far as the way I do the cartridge fork, which is the one on the left side on the Ultra, but it's damn near close. I haven't noticed any difference in the handling or anything like that. I haven't blown any seals, never experienced any negative effects from it. But it's an easy way to change your fork oil. Harley recommends that you do these every 50,000 miles. I do them every other season. It's quick, it's easy, and it keeps clean fluid in the fork so I don't run into any seal problems. The bike's got over 65,000 on it now, and I haven't sprung a leak yet, knock on wood, you know what I mean? So maintenance is where it's at. You take care of your machines, they'll take care of you. Any questions, comments, leave them down below. Please consider subscribing and help the channel by sharing and liking the videos. Thank you. You all have a great day.